This week on Horse of the West, the NRHA Non-Pro Futurity Championship from Oklahoma City. We'll see one young rider run in the Level 4 final for the very first time.
It's a surreal experience. I mean, it's like no other.
And 77-year-old Dr. Jim Morgan aims for his 43rd consecutive run in the Non-Pro Championship after a round of cancer.
I tried to ride 3 months ago. I couldn't even hardly get off the horse, let alone get on it.
Plus, one first-time finalist who hasn't ridden in this Futurity in almost a decade and a half.
I needed to let them know right off the bat that I came to play too.
And Dr. Joe Carter in Your Horse Inside and Out, sponsored by Behringer Ingelheim.
We're going to talk about high suspensory ligament injuries.
That's all coming up in this episode of Horse of the West. Welcome to State Fair Park in Oklahoma City and the most prestigious event in the sport of reining, the National Reining Horse Association Futurity. This is an event for the best 3-year-olds in the world, and Friday night means it's finals time for NRHA non-pros, competitors who are not paid to train, riding horses they or their families own. Taylor Zimmerman, the granddaughter of $2 million owner and Hall of Fame member Vaughn Zimmerman, watched others ride through the Gateway of Champions here in Oklahoma City, but now she gets to do it herself.
Yeah, this is such a fun sport, and we're so lucky to get to do it. And, you know, I crave riding every day, whether it's going on a trail ride or doing this. And, you know, I love running through this chute every time. It's such a thrill and such an honor just to get to do it. So
Sam Flaherty of Springfield, Ohio is another legacy reiner. He is the son of $7 million rider and Hall of Fame member Sean Flaherty, and he says it is a thrill that both he and his dad will be running in their finals this year, Sam in the non-pro and Sean in the open.
It's just super cool because we're like a team, so like we help each other, and just it's great to have him and it's great for him to have me, so it's a great thing.
Emma Van Landingham, whose dad is $2 million rider Jason Van Landingham, agrees it's a great thing to be in the non-pro final the same weekend her dad is in the open final, but
It was definitely a lot more stress, I feel like, on him. I think he gets a lot more stressed out than I do about my runs, so, and I'm the same way with him. I get really nervous for his runs.
77-year-old Dr. Jim Morgan battled cancer in 2022, but he wouldn't miss this event for the world.
There is no way in the world a 77-year-old person's going to have that kind of a thrill anywhere else in the world that I know and live to tell about it.
Now let's see what these riders can do. First up in the non-pro final, Jesse Asmussen of Maquoketa, Iowa, who's riding TR Who and Who by NRHA $8 million sire Gunnar Trasha out of 2011 NRHA non-pro Futurity champion Spooks and Sparks.
It's been a really fun horse to have. He's super sweet, like our kids. Hose him off, give him baths, ride him around. I mean, he's one of those nice horses that's just fun to have around.
Most trainers will tell you they would rather not draw up this early in the final, but Jesse won the non-pro Futurity back in 2019 out of draw 1, so you will not hear him complain.
There's no bad draw in the finals. I was tickled to get here. I missed the finals by half a point and I had to do the consolation, and so just to get into the finals, we were excited. So I was good with that. I had good ground and I knew exactly when I'd show, so I was good with 2.
The judges give Jesse and TR Who and Who a strong 219 to get things rolling. Andy Roper of Hobart, Indiana is next to go on Frozen, whose barn name is Olaf, by new $1 million sire SG Frozen Enterprise out of Misplaced Cat. Indy bought Olaf from NRHA $1 million rider Trevor Dare and his wife Laura back in May.
he got a little excited, from the go-round, but overall, I thought he came out and he did a great job. So, I mean, I love him, and we'll go home and keep working, so.
Indy and Olaf leave the arena with a 216.
I mean, I'm not disappointed at all. You know, you always want more, and there's some things I think I could have done better, maybe a few things he could have, but overall, I'm really proud of him. To come here at this big stage, just to be here and to be in the finals is a real treat, so.
Jack Meadows of Cuba, Missouri is riding Fire and Rain, a daughter of $5 million sire Spooks Got a Whiz out of Chick's Dream of Diamonds. The mare Jack rode to the non-pro championship here back in 2016. He says Fire and Rain is an apple that did not fall too far from the tree.
You never have to question whether she's going to be there for you or not. You just got to make sure that you're not messing it up for her. So it's just such a blessing to show this mare. She's just been, kind of once in a lifetime horse. She's a lot like her mom. And it's just a special feeling.
It's a score of 221 for Jack Meadows and Fire and Rain, which will put them in the lead, at least for now.
Now we wait. Is what it is. Yep, there's going to be a lot of good horses out here tonight, so all you can do is wait.
Sam Flaherty of Springfield, Ohio is running the pattern next on a stud by SG Frozen Enterprise out of PS, a whizzin' chick named PS Whiz on Ice.
He's the best horse. He's just, he's got a goofy personality, but he's the best.
Sam says he likes to go with his gut when it comes to picking horses.
I like the connection. I like to feel that he likes me and I like him. I just in here. If I feel it with him, I got it.
Sam felt that connection the minute he tried this stud.
The moment I stepped on him as a 2-year-old, he was just amazing. I loved him.
The word from the judges, 218.5 for Sam and PS Whiz on Ice, which puts them in third behind Jesse Asmussen. Taylor Larson of Ione, California, and Gonna Enter to Win, known as Harper, are next to challenge those top scores.
She's like my dream horse. I love her. She can do all the maneuvers, but she likes to be right with me, and she's the sweetest horse, like with my kids in the stall. She's just so sweet.
Taylor's husband is $2 million rider Jordan Larson, so she has a good coach as well as a good horse, but she has to go out there and get him shown.
But I wanted to be brave. My husband said, go fast and make good decisions. So that was my plan. Yeah, I was so nervous. I haven't shown since, I think, like 2015 here, so it's been a long time. So she's special to take care of me.
Taylor and this daughter of Gonna Trash out of Magnum's Enterprise earned a 216 for their run. 14-year-old Emma Van Landingham of Whitesboro, Texas, is mounted on SHR Hollywood Kid by The Kid's Got a Gun by Shinin' in Hollywood.
Man, she's one of a kind. I was a little disappointed because I had some rider error tonight, but she tried her guts out like she always does. But she was amazing. I'm kind of her person. She definitely has picked me out of everybody, and she's been like that since day one.
Emma and SHR Hollywood Kid leave the Coliseum with a 216. When we come back, 77-year-old Hall of Fame member and 3-time non-pro Futurity champion Dr. Jim Morgan makes his 43rd consecutive appearance in the Level 4 finals after a battle with cancer earlier in the year. And we have a rider who's making his first ever appearance in the Level 4 finals.
It's my first Futurity in 15 years, and I needed to let them know right off the bat that I came to play too.
That's all coming up. Don't ride out. Welcome back to Horse of the West, coming to you from State Fair Park in Oklahoma City for the NRHA Cinch Non-Pro Futurity Championship. Jack Meadows and Fire and Rain are in the lead with a 221. Jesse Asmussen is in second on TR Who and Who with a 219. And up next is $1 million owner Tish Fapani of Scottsdale, Arizona. Her mount is Gonna Chick Dream by Art Gonna Spark Ya out of Magnum Chick Dunnit.
You know, he's a really cool horse, really kind, like always kind of wants to be in your pocket. So he got a little ahead of me tonight, but it's a 3-year-old and it's a tough game out there.
It's a 217 for Tish Fapani and Gonna Chick Dream.
I didn't have him locked in my rundowns like I should have. I didn't get him stopped, and that's his biggest maneuver. I mean, he got stopped, but he didn't run good, so that kind of killed him.
New $1 million rider Gina Maria Schumacher of Switzerland is going down the alley now on CSO Bingo by Snipolution out of Bingo Juicy. Both horses that Gina has showed in the past, but that didn't mean these two had an instant connection.
Oh, he's one of my favorites. I didn't like him in the beginning when I got him. His name's Bingo, and he's just the most funniest horse I've ever had, and every time I showed him, he's just tried so hard.
Gina and Bingo slide into second with a 220. William Clutter of Overbrook, Oklahoma hasn't competed in the NRHA Futurity in almost 15 years. He's never made the Level 4 finals, but here he is. He was a spectator at the Futurity last year, but he went home the day after the finals and bought a Futurity horse for this year.
We went home on Sunday morning, and we got her bought by 10 o'clock Sunday morning. Watched her work for 5 minutes, said, get off, we'll get her vetted and take her home. We watched him get her out and throw the saddle on and trotted her around, open his legs, and she just started going backwards. And we were like, yeah, this is probably going to work out. This is probably going to be an okay thing here. and it's just been magic ever since.
The magic continues here in OKC. William and Smoke It in the Boys Room put down a run that earns them a 2:22.5 from the judges and shazams them right into the lead. This moment is particularly emotional for William because, along with the rest of the reining community, he is mourning the loss of NRHA non-pro Kelly Smith, who passed away a few days before finals night and was memorialized just before the event. William started riding with Kelly's husband Sam when he was a kid, so his connection to the Smiths is a deep one.
Kelly and I had a moment before I went in the show pen, and you bet your ass she helped me out there tonight, so I'll never forget this the rest of my life.
Indy Roper's back again, this time on a gelding named Pretty All Right by $12 million sire and Hall of Fame member Wimpy's Little Step out of Just Another Done It. This is another horse that Indy purchased from Trevor and Laura Dare back in May.
The foundation was impeccable. So really it was more of a matter, it wasn't about training him, it was about him and I getting together. I saw all the potential in him. We made it back from the consolation round, so it gave me another run on him, and I think we built from that. So I think in the go round and the consolation, I had just kind of worried about too many things, and today I just went in and showed him a little harder, and I think he kind of thrived in that environment.
Thrived indeed. Indy and Pretty All Right come away with a more than all right 220, which will tie them for third with Gina Schumacher. And now, here is 77-year-old Hall of Fame member Dr. Jim Morgan making his 43rd consecutive run in the NRHA non-pro Level 4 finals. Jim will tell you that riding through the Gateway of Champions here in Oklahoma City on finals night never gets old. But this year it's extra special due to the horse he's on by new $1 million sire Smart and Shiny, named Cowboys Right Away. This is the only horse Jim raised out of his only broodmare, a whiz called Wanda.
I told him he was it. He was the one.
Due to Jim's battle with cancer earlier in 2022, Cowboys Right Away was turned out into the pasture for 5 months, but he remembered his training when Jim got back in the saddle again, and the two still managed to make it here to the final.
It's an incredible miracle from God, I can guarantee you that. Because I tried to ride 3 months ago, I couldn't even hardly get off the horse, let alone get on it.
Because of his wife Kim's suggestion to wear a back brace and because of this stud's easygoing nature, Jim was able to get his groove back.
And he's so soft and easy to ride, and he just does things right, and it's just a gradual progression. And
the hard work of Dr. Jim Morgan and Cowboys Right Away pays off with a score of 217. When we come back, more action from the NRHA Cinch Non-Pro Futurity Finals and Your Horse Inside and Out, sponsored by Behringer Ingelheim.
We're going to talk about high suspensory ligament injuries.
Don't write off. Welcome back to Horse of the West and the NRHA Cinch Non-Pro Futurity Championship Final. Level 4 first-timer William Clutter is in the lead with the 221.5 on Smokin' in the Boys Room. In second with a 221, former champion Jack Meadows and Fire and Rain. Molly Morgenstern of Galena, Ohio is next to run the pattern on Aphrodite's Got Voodoo, a mare by $3 million sire Shiner's Voodoo Doctor out of One Mighty Aphrodite. They make their ride and take home a 217.5 from the judges. Here's another former champion, Charlie Wiederholt of Hastings, Minnesota, and I'm a Magnum survivor. This is a son of $9 billion sire and Hall of Fame member Magnum Chick Dream out of Golden Survivor. Charlie sure found a diamond in the rough with this gelding.
He was really green, and he was a stud, and he wasn't very nice when he was a stud, so I gelded him right away, and he really is trained up quick and well. He's been a dream to just ride. And I gambled. I knew he needed to be a gelding. He was telling me that. So I gambled and hoping that gelding would work, and it worked really well.
Charlie's gamble pays off with a score of 220 here in the final, putting him in third along with Indy Roper and Gina Schumacher.
He likes to eat things, so he'll eat your microphone if you let him.
Taylor Zimmerman of Springfield, Missouri is making her run now on Rough Blonde by $1 million sire Not Rough at All, who is owned by Taylor's grandfather, $2 million owner, and Hall of Fame member Vaughn Zimmerman. Taylor showed this mare's dam, Wimpy, stalled up when she was a youth rider, so this horse is already like family.
She's incredibly special to us. We love her, and yeah, I'm so excited for the future with her. She's definitely like one that's going to be in the family forever, and I'm just Thrilled with her, thrilled with her. Oh, she's the friendliest mare ever. You would never know she's a mare unless you looked. I mean, she's the sweetest horse, and she loves to get out, loves attention, loves treats.
It's a score of 219 for Taylor and Rough Blonde. Still ahead, Gina Maria Schumacher on her final horse, and young Lane Colston, who'll explain why he knew he had to put on a pretty good show with this ride. We'll be right back. Your Horse Inside and Out with Dr. Joe Carter is sponsored by Boehringer Ingelheim.
High suspensory ligament injuries are a common injury we see in performance horses, but it's one of those hidden injuries. They're really difficult to diagnose because there's usually no pain or swelling or inflammation at the site of the injury, which is very different than most injuries of the leg of a horse. Usually when they've hurt something, there's some swelling, there's some heat or some pain. You can kind of localize it with some flexion tests or palpation. They'll kind of point you in the right direction to take your ultrasounds or take your x-ray or do your MRI. But with high suspensories, they can be very, very hidden. And so remember, the suspensory ligaments in general attach bone to bone, and it's kind of like a rope. It's got a bunch of fibers that run by it. Well, the suspensory ligament begins at the top of the cannon bone, below the knee or the hock in the hind leg, and it runs down, wraps around the fetlock, and attaches to the pasture. Well, up high, the suspensory ligament where it originates is attached by an enthesis, which is a little piece of gristle that actually attaches the ligament to the bone. So you can have an enthesis injury with a high suspensory injury, or you can actually also have a bone bruise, which are very insidious and very difficult to diagnose, really only diagnosable with an MRI, unless in the worst case where they might actually fracture or pull a piece of bone off of the cannon bone where the high suspensory attaches. So generally you have to do a block-out thorough lameness workout to diagnose those injuries. Usually you have to follow them up after a block-out with the Novocaine or the blocking compounds with an MRI to get that accurate diagnosis and then get an accurate treatment plan. Treatment can be lots of things, usually stem cells. There's some surgical procedures like micropicking we like to do on those injuries to help them heal. But anytime you suspect a high suspensory injury, contact your local veterinarian, and I'm Dr. Joe Carter with Your Horse Inside and Out.
Before making any decisions about your horse's health, be sure to consult with your veterinarian. Your Horse Inside and Out is sponsored by Boehringer Ingelheim, makers of Viterra. Appropriate vaccinations in the spring and boosters in the fall help keep your horse protected from infectious diseases year-round. Vaccines can help prevent or reduce the severity of and limit the spread of disease. Consult with your veterinarian to see which boosters your horse might need. You're watching Horse of the West on RFD TV. Welcome back to Horse of the West and coverage of the 2022 NRHA Cinch Non-Pro Futurity Championship. With 2 riders left to go, William Clutter is in the lead still with that 2:22.5. This is his first appearance in the NRHA Futurity in almost 15 years and his first time ever in the Level 4 Open Final. Former champion Jack Meadows is in second with a 2:21. And now here's Gina Maria Schumacher riding her second horse, Gunnin' for the Night, nicknamed Bucky, by Gunnatrasha out of Dunnett Friday night. This horse was trained by $2 million rider Dwayne Latimer.
I haven't ridden him very much. Dwayne trained him, and he's very weird. And I don't know, he gets scared of weird stuff and likes to wiggle around and just very strange. And so he needs a lot of trust. And bond is really important, and I just didn't have that much time to create it with him. And
that trust seems to have been worth the time to build. Gina Maria and Bucky lay down their run and earn a 2:22.5 from the judges, tying them for the lead with William Clutter and Smokin' in the boys' room. But we're not done yet. Here is our final rider in the draw, Lane Colston of Frankfort, Kentucky, and H.A. Chick, a stud by H.F. Mobster out of H.A. Chickatoon.
When we bought this horse, I wasn't sitting there. My dad bought him at the sale, and I said, "What'd you buy that thing for?" We already got enough. We don't need any more. But I'm glad he did, because he turned out to be the best one this year.
Lane was last in the draw in the go-round at the National Reining Breeders' Classic, and he took away a lesson from that experience.
But I remember everybody was getting up to leave. I was right at the end, so I knew tonight I was like, I better go in there. I better go put a show on so everybody will sit and watch for a minute.
Lane Colston and H.A. Chick put on a show worthy of sticking around for and earn a solid 2:19.5 from the judges. Not enough to win it all, but enough to take 7th and a check for $19,000. William Clutter and Gina Maria Schumacher will end up tied for first with a 2:22.5 each. They decide to split the 2022 championship title and each take home $60,000. Gina also finishes fourth in a three-way tie on CSO Bingo and earns an additional $24,000.
I had about this much energy left yesterday, and I didn't know if I was going to be able to make it through, and just really thankful for everybody that's helped me, and pushed me. And I haven't eaten anything all day because I can't eat before I show, but my stomach felt like it was going to twist around every time. Doesn't matter how tired you are or how many times you run through that gate, I don't think it'll ever change.
William Clutter says he and his horse Smoke into the boys' room have been a great match from the very beginning.
We've just kind of been a team from day one. She was just 3-year-old, just starting out. We had some bugs to work out like everybody, but I just always felt so comfortable on her. It was easy for us to get along.
William brings home this title in honor of the dear friend he lost this week, non-pro Kelly Smith, as well as her husband, his trainer, Sam.
This meant everything in the world to me for Sam and Kelly, and it was a big night, I just told myself, do your job, get close, and Kelly's going to take it home the rest of the way. It's been a special night, and I'll never, ever, ever forget this night.
And neither will all the friends and fans of the late Kelly Smith, who was lost to the reining community way too soon. Kelly, you'll be missed, but never forgotten. I'm Jennifer Reynolds. We'll see you next time on Horse of the West.